What is up, everybody? Jesse with Jesse's Performance back at it again. It is Sunday, fun day. We were supposed to have a video for today, but I forgot to hit the record button the other night when I did all of this lovely work. So therefore, we don't have nothing. I'm going to be cramming all day today trying to get the rear section of this finished up so we can get a video for you guys for tomorrow. So let's see what we can do. The other night I had got the radiator and stuff in, but what I worked on was this whole rear tail section of this frame, which is going to be the base of our bumper stuff. I got these radium fuel jugs in here with our 860 performance mount. They custom built me this. Dave and them over there are great people. Dave and John are the guys I deal with. They're great folks. I hit him up with this crazy idea of wanting to put 3 fuel jugs in the back of the NASROD 2.0, and I said I needed a really cool mount, and this is what they made me. It fits right like I want to. As you can see, we are getting tight on space, but they did their job. They knew the assignment. They made it happen, so shout out to those guys. So I have this bar that goes across here. It is not tacked in yet. I'm deciding how I want to mount the fuel jug mount, I guess. It's a lot of mount going on there, but yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to mount all that to be very, very firm in this car. Because I do want to do some driving, and things may happen when these are back here, right? I have these guys here I'm going to weld on. They left me to weld on where I needed to. And then we are going to use one of the Rhino USA retractable ratchet straps to go over top of these to hold these down. I think that is the move that I need to make on this here. That way it's easy to use. It's retractable, so I won't have a bunch of long lines everywhere. But yeah, I think that's the easiest and best way to do this. So first things first, what I need to do is I need to come over here, come over yonder. I got my fab table here. Let me come on. Yeah, this side would work. All right. So here I have, this is just a generic Summit Racing 12-inch. I think it actually is a 13-inch fan shroud. It's just what they had in stock. I didn't want to have to make one and cut one out, so it was like, I don't know, $80 or something. And then I'm going to try these, the ProForm brushless fans. I've heard a lot of hype about them. There's some people using them that have had good luck with them. The only problem is they are 12 inches. The hole in here is 12 inches, so I can't mount it how I typically would. The holes just are not all the way through. But they do come with these double hold tabs. I think you're probably supposed to cut the long one off if you don't use it, but I'm going to use them, and I'm going to actually put 4 M6 bolts on each one, or I mean 8 on each one. Just that way, with all the vibration and stuff this thing gets, if one bolt decides to fail, or if the tab decides to break or something like that, we'll have 6 bolts holding it on. One thing I have definitely found with the NASROD and this beast of a motor and how solid this thing is this old girl does like to vibrate. You know, just nature of the beast, right? Lots of horsepower, lots of violence, lots of tire shake, lots of everything. Things like to vibrate. That's why I'm overbuilding everything. As you can see, the radiator mount's overbuilt. The gas tank mount is overbuilt. Like, we could have done this a lot easier, a lot different ways, but I want this thing to be solid. I want to thrash on it and not have to worry about anything other than having a good time and running out of fuel. Those are the worries I want, is to make sure I have a good time and we don't run out of fuel. I'm trying to think what else. I really am indecisive on the design back here, so I'm going to get the fans mounted on the shroud, get the shroud set up here on the radiator. I already kind of made it fit, and obviously the radiator's in the car now, looking pretty good. So I'm going to get those up in here and start working on this design. My goal for today is to have both the back bars here and here in, and then whatever I'm going to do in the middle, I think I want like an X and maybe a crossbar. I'm not sure yet. Have that in, and then hopefully I can get these other bedside mounts tied in somehow. It's a lot of work, a lot of notching, a lot of math, a lot of figuring. But that's what I got to do today. No time like the present. Let's get busy. Okay, so I do have this bar made. This is going to be the passenger side main down bar. Okay, I got my marks lined up. I put it all up in there. I tried the angle iron trick, but I don't have a piece of angle iron long enough. So what I'm doing is I'm using my fab table here with these pieces underneath of it, right? And it's all clamped down. So it should all be in a straight line, level, everything, which I don't see any light or anything on my angle iron. I'm about to pull it off and see if it moves, and if it doesn't move, then I know we're good, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the TIG welder over here, and I'll probably just tack these, set it up in the truck, make sure everything's good, and if it's all good, then I'm going to go ahead and bring it back over here and just run those out, just so that's done, and then I can put this in as one bar. All right, so now that I have this here, up here, all jigged up, I mean, it looks right, it's nice and tight. I got my marks lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the old Dynasty and get this thing tacked in a couple spots. I'll then pull it off the table, stick it on the NASROD, make sure that that fits and lines up and everything's happy. And if that works, then I will get this thing, the next one going. I'll know how to do it, so it'll be nice and easy. Let's go. Okay, so I spent some time inside the car doing some welding here, doing some welding here, doing some welding down here. Just make sure everything's solid. And then I took and I bent these bars here because I'm actually going to put a panel here with the fuel fill and the air fill and maybe a few other things. Let me see here. I finished my fuel jug mount, this bar and these and that down on both sides. I'm really happy with that. Let me see here. It's hard to sing being up here. That's where the fire suppression is going to go, just like it was before. I had no qualms with that. I got this bar also bent for a panel here. Battery charger, or battery jumpers, and a few other things will be here. And I think I'm gonna go with this design with the boat in the middle deal. I feel like that'll look really cool. I'll use like 1.25 inch, a little bit smaller tubing so it isn't so bulky. So I'm gonna probably work on that here real quick. And then I'm gonna have to build a bumper. So I got my frame all out here. I like it, but I need a bumper. We just go too hard with this car not to have one. I'm doing burnouts, I'm gonna be doing drifting. There's gonna be other people driving around me. You know, last thing I wanna do is wreck these bedsides or this tailgate. So I'm gonna bring a bumper probably out and kind of come back and wrap it around here and come back in there, right? And I'll do 2 layers of it. So it'll be a double bar. And then maybe I'll tie it together, and I don't know, there's something that I really want to mount a trailer hitch on this to tow a little trailer. So I might also bring it down and tie it into the subframe. I don't know yet. I still need to mount the air tank under here. But you can see I added these 2 bars here and here for that tank to actually sit on, and then the other ones just hold it down. So it should be good. I'm gonna have a lot of welding. I'm gonna have so much welding, finish welding to do on this thing, but it's okay. You know, take it apart, I can roll it around and do that kind of stuff like I did on Stacie's car. It'll be really cool with the body off. So and it'll be cool to see how light this thing actually is with no subframes and stuff. So yeah, ideally we'll be able to just undo the subframes and leave them right here on this cart, just ratchet strap the wheels down and then lift the frame off. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna work on my center here. I can't not have anything, it just looks naked, so I'm gonna try doing something there, and then I will probably work on the bumper. And then I do think that I'm going to make like a little, let's see right here, little utility box to go in this side here. Maybe it'll be a small one right here, just to have some like jumper cables in, maybe a lug nut socket and wrench just to double check, maybe a spark plug socket. We're gonna have a PDM, so I don't have to worry about fuses anymore, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, but let's get working on that there. I don't know, it's like 10 o'clock. I've been working on this thing since about 1 o'clock today, so I've been putting in some time. I'm gonna try and hold out to about 2 or 3 tonight and see if I can't get all this stuff done. I'm gonna call it a night there. Like I said, I got some welding done in there. No, nothing major, but I did get this cage deal done. It was a lot more work than I actually expected. Actually ended up putting a little bend in these tubes. I knew I was gonna have to put a bend here. I didn't think it was gonna have to be that big, but in order for it to, I don't know what that was. But in order for it to clear the fans, which I'm squeaking by, as you can see, I had to put a little bend, like 5-degree bend in those. It's got a very, very like trophy truck vibe going on. So I've always liked trophy trucks. You can see from the side, she's looking fresh. So yeah, I got that in there. My fuel mount's all done in there. It's all tied in. These sidebars I am really happy with. The bed moved a little on this one here, up in the front there, but yeah, and as you can see, this is centered, so it rocks. Yeah. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for staying tuned and watching this with us. It's been a lot of work. I keep going every night on this thing until I'm done, I swear. My health is getting better. I'm feeling better, so I'm going to be able to grind on this even harder. I'm trying to have the chassis done here within the week here and off to powder coat and maybe back from powder coat even. But I have a lot to do. I still need to finish up some stuff on the inside for the floor and the transmission tunnel stuff. And then I need to get the motor in and build motor plate brackets and all that crap. So a lot to do still. Probably going to get Kyle's help here coming this week, later this week, just so I can expedite this a little bit. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. Be sure to check out jessiestore.com. Stacie is always pumping time and effort into that website to bring you the newest, baddest parts, all our new gear. I know she's got some new designs coming out. They're going to be really cool. I promise you, they're really cool designs. So make sure and check those out, and be sure to continue watching for more progress on the NASROD. That's it for tonight. Thank you, and have a good night.